I am becoming very good at predicting how is it that my weight is going to change. Because remember we talked about this yesterday. I said that the weight gain that I was having yesterday isn't really actual weight gain, it's just water. And well, now look at this. This is really fucking impressive. This is quite impressive indeed. We are very well on our way to achieving the weight that we are trying to achieve. Dieting, however, it's really fucking boring. Like, a big part of the struggle is just the fact that you're going to have to do the same thing over and over again every single day. Because, I mean, there are people that say that they go out and they like to socialize during diets as well, but I don't think that's true. I think that's absolute bullshit. Because, like, why the fuck would you want to go outside and talk to people when you're already struggling? And then on top of that, like, the thing that I would normally go out for is kind of maybe a little bit interacting with people, but I would mostly just go out to like have fun, have drinks, eat with somebody entertaining me in the background. So it's not like I'm going to go there purely for the communication. I'm going to go there for the activities, for most of it. So for most part of the time, the communication is just like an added bonus. So like if I have to go out struggling and if I constantly have to bother myself with like avoiding alcohol and avoiding food, that is not going to be an enjoyable time for me at all. Like I'm not going to have interest in purely just going out tired, staying tired, and just like listening to somebody yap in the background for like fucking 2 hours straight. So that doesn't sound a good time. And yeah, so dieting is quite boring because of this reason, and well, being bored is quite boring as well. So you are going to have to kind of suck through the boredom because you're just basically going to be like focused. You're going to be sitting at home, you're going to be doing the same thing, you're going to be eating the same food over and over and over again every single day. But that is something you also should actually get used to. So like at the beginning of the diet, it's a little bit more hard. But then when you start seeing the results and when you're already kind of like halfway into the diet, you kind of get used to it. It becomes your new reality. So you don't really even like want to interact with people that much because you're just kind of like completely sucked in and you're completely focused on this one little thing that you're going to be doing. So it's not that bad. You get used to it, and I really do love the results. Like I do like it. How is it that I'm looking nowadays? So that is a good thing. Also, like I am quite delusional when it comes to my body. Like sometimes I look in the mirror and I feel like, oh wow, I've been dieting for a while now and I look like dog shit. And I constantly forget that there are a lot of surrounding factors that make me look worse. And in reality, like the end goal is going to be very different. So the first thing that I always forget and the thing that I always ignore is the fact that I'm still like 13-14% body fat. Like I still have belly fat. Like if I fucking lean down, I have rolls. So yeah, sure, I've lost a significant amount of weight and I look significantly better than I did, but I'm not like fucking fitness lean. I'm like 13%. I still need to lose a lot of weight. So the fact that I even look to an extent impressive right now, that's already a huge win. So it's just going to get better, and like the change is actually going to be even more dramatic as the lower I go, because the first pounds, like, you are just going to be losing weight, but you're not going to really be visually changing. If anything, you're going to look worse visually because you're going to be depleted and you're not going to have any glycogen in your body. And on top of that, like, also you're going to be kind of like just flat. So like, yeah, I mean, it is going to be a while until you're going to be looking good. And then on top of it, like, I would compare like the way that I look right now in this moment with like the videos I've took previously, and these videos are on a pump, like me fully carved up, like me in like the best possible light. So like, yeah, you can't really compare that as well. So your mind is constantly going to play tricks on you, and you are constantly going to feel like you look worse than you actually do. And also your mind is constantly going to make you think that you're not doing as well as you really are. So like, you really do have to be realistic with these sorts of things, and you really have to be kind of like really aware of like which stage is it that you're in and what are also the like surrounding circumstances, because like you have to like evaluate these things quite well for you to understand where is it that you are. Because also like the fact with the diet is like you're always going to be grumpy and you're always going to be tired and everything is always going to be annoying. So like you are going to be quite judgy when it comes to yourself and your dieting. So just give it some time. Just like go through the diet, reach the weight that you wanted to reach, like do everything that you should do for you to look the best possible way, and then evaluate it then. Don't evaluate yourself at your best versus yourself at your worst. Evaluate your best appearance with your next best appearance. So that would be the advice I would give myself if I would talk to myself, which I actually effectively do. This is basically me talking to myself, so I can basically give myself advice, which is kind of cool. Okay, so anyways, about today, you guys already kind of know the drill. I am currently working, so I was in the office already, and I am going to be going back to the office now, as I had my breakfast. Then afterwards, today we are 100% going to the gym. We have a leg day today in plan, so we are going to be going to the gym, and then afterwards I'll come back home and I'll talk to you guys once again, as I always do. So I guess I'll see you guys in a few hours, so talk to you guys then. Making these videos becomes significantly easier the longer you do it. Because the problem with making these videos isn't necessarily like speaking in front of a camera, well, even though that was one of the issues that I've had so far, and I'm kind of slowly improving, but still definitely an issue. But for normal people that are not mentally weird, they don't really have these difficulties talking in front of a camera, I feel like. Or at least they have these difficulties to a significantly smaller degree. So the real issue that does occur when you film these kind of videos is the fact that you constantly have to film. And then God forbid if you do any other form of social media as well, is just going to end up with you like constantly filming and filming and filming all day long. So that does become a little bit exhausting. That becomes a little bit of an issue. But the longer you do it, the thing that I noticed is it becomes second nature and you don't really even think about it as much anymore. So like for example, at the beginning when I started filming these videos, I remember I was dreading the moment of the day where I have to do it because it was just a lot of work. But then as you start investing more time into it and you figure out like the most comfortable ways to do it, and then on top of it you just kind of get used to it, so you kind of do it by reflex, it's really not that difficult. And of course, then you can argue about the quality of the content. I do understand that I'm making like absolute dog shit quality content, but I feel like I'm also slowly improving, because the thing that, for example, I'm going to do in a few months is I did finally decide to buy this camera that I wanted, because I mean, if I plan on filming this shit for at least a year constantly anyways, and if I do fitness anyways, I might as well have a decent camera and just make the experience a little bit more fun. And then if shit goes completely sideways and I never really find out what is it that I want to do with this, then well, I can just sell it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna lose money, but I'm at least going to enjoy myself and have fun for a period of time. Because also a problem that you would have, or that I at least have with the iPhone's camera, is that like you can get decent quality content, but the problem is like if you want to use your rear camera, you don't really see yourself, so you're constantly going to end up being out of frame, you're constantly going to end up filming yourself in like weird angles, and yeah, there's just like no reasonable way around it. So like the only thing that you can do is film with your front camera, as I'm doing right now, but that does affect the quality, because obviously the front camera is going to be significantly worse than the rear. So for example, like when I film me doing something, I'm using the front camera and the quality is like nice, that's good. But then when I would do these talking head videos, I have to film with the front camera for me to actually see myself, otherwise it just becomes like a miserable experience and I fucking hate doing it. So yeah, I decided for me to be able to stick to this properly, I'm just going to use the front camera for now. And then eventually when I am going to buy this new camera that I want, it's going to have this screen that you can like flip, and basically you can film yourself while also seeing the screen, so it's easy to position yourself and it's easy to see what is it that you're doing, because the camera is specifically meant for vlogging, so like it becomes just easier to do this and it becomes a significantly less of a hustle to do it. Okay, so about today. Today was a very reasonable average day. I was quite happy with the weight loss, so that kind of got me excited during the morning. So that was a cool thing. And then afterwards also, like, I had a reasonably decent day in the office, so that wasn't overly annoying. And the beginning of the workout was a little bit rough because I needed to do legs today, and normally legs are quite exhausting, and plus I hadn't really ate all that much, so I wasn't overly excited about the workout. But then when I actually went to the gym and when I got into the workout, it became much better, and I actually had a very decent workout. I had a very decent leg day, and it actually went really well. And I feel like this is a thing that quite often happens, at least with me. I don't know about you guys, do you have a similar thing? But like for me, I am always going to be a little bitch before I start doing the thing that I should be doing. So before I start doing the thing, I'm going to come up with a lot of excuses. I'm going to be whiny. I'm going to feel like I don't want to do it. But then once I actually start doing it, I'm like, okay, well, this is not that bad. I actually feel fine. It's not that difficult. And I feel like this is something that I have with a lot of things that I do. So for an example, even work-wise, when I'm at the office, when I have to do a task, like I don't want to start the task. So I'm going to be procrastinating for a while. But then once I start the task, I kind of get sucked into it and I actually have fun with it. I do a decent job and I don't really feel like I want to stop and I'm not all that annoyed doing it. So I feel like the big change that I've made during the last year is I'm basically better when it comes to like starting. So like I'm able to like start stuff a little bit easier, and that just generally makes everything much more easier for me, because I remember the issue that I had historically, especially when I was younger, is just that I don't want to start doing stuff. But then when I do start, it's not that bad. And now when I have this ability to force myself, and when I can kind of just like hard force myself to do the things that I should be doing, then once I start, it's not really all that difficult. It actually becomes fairly chill. So yeah, the day is basically pretty much over. I'm still debating with myself if I want to go out and do cardio or not. For a moment I thought that I'm going to be saved and that I don't need to do cardio because it started raining, but now the rain is over and I'm kind of starting to get this little feeling again that I want to go outside and jog. So I don't know what is this thing that I have in my mind, but I really enjoy jogging. So let's see if I'm going to end up going or if I'm going to stay at home. But regardless, I still need to stretch out at the gym that I have in the apartment complex, so I still need to do some stuff. But yeah, so I'm gonna finish up the day. I'm gonna do the few last things that I need to do, and I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow.